Good day, and this is Joe Sonona with Sonona Speaks Seminars, and this is Coffee Talk with the Listing Pros in Real Estate. And my guest this week is Josh Handler from Exit Realty Premier. How are you, Josh?
Joe, good morning. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and how did you get into real estate?
Sure. So, a little backstory, the quick view about it. I started in the restaurant business when I was 17. I was in the restaurant business from about 17 to 28. Worked my way up from, your standard pizzeria counter boy, all the way up to becoming a partner in one of the restaurants, and then became a partner in a second restaurant at the same time. So I've been in the restaurant business I was in the restaurant business as a partner and an employee for 11 years. Uh, I was doing, I feel like that's a big thing in real estate. I've been talking to more and more people, and a lot of people have been in the hospitality industry before going into real estate full time, or a mixture of both. And, I was working 90 hours a week. I never saw my family. I never saw my friends, missed every holiday. And I don't know if I was getting burnt out or a mixture of just getting burnt out and just wanting more. At the end of the day, just like, yes, you are a partner. I was a working partner, but there's a ceiling to how much you could really make. The restaurant's only going to go up so much for the most part, every year per se. There was a ceiling. Yes, you were comfortable. You had your salary, but I just, I wasn't loving it anymore. It was, I don't know if it was just a mixture of me changing, whatever it was. I needed more. Ended up buying my house 3 years ago with who was my mentor at the time, Ron, who's one of my partners now. He bought my house. He helped me find my house 3 years ago. I love the process. I was like, this is incredible. I was hooked instantly. I bought my house. The next day I went out and bought the course and paid for the course and started taking my license and started taking the training for my license. At the same time, I was still working for the restaurant business, got my license, and I told myself, all right, you know what? I'm going to save up 6 months. I'm going to make sure we have a 6 month cushion of all our mortgage payments, all our bills, anything that could go wrong. If I don't sell a single house and this is a total flop, I'll figure it out in 6 months. So, we hit that number. And I told my partners, hey, listen, I'm going to, sell you my shares back. I'm just going to move on to something else in my life. It's time. Went into real estate, and the first 6 months of real estate, when I was working at the restaurants as I was saving, I had a great 6 month career. My first year, we won the bronze award with Exit, which was, we did, I don't know, probably like 15 or 16 houses, in 6 months, which, to me, everyone was like, that's incredible. That's incredible. You just started the business and you did 15 deals. I was like, this felt like natural. I was like, I didn't know what a lot of deals were or what a little bit was. I knew nothing about the industry. I was so new.
That's good for newbie, by the way. That's excellent for a newbie.
Think about it now. I was like, you did more than one deal a month, and you were only doing it for 6 months in the first year. So I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. You're doing 2+ deals a year. So basically, flash forward, I went full time and ended up loving it. And year after year, our numbers been rising every year. So from the first 6 months to the first full year, tripled our GCI. And then
what do you think your secret sauce is to listing so many houses or doing so well?
So I'll admit, my business is probably 40% listings at this point and 60% buyers.
Really?
We do a lot of buyers, and I don't know if it's just the age bracket that I'm in, where a lot of my sphere is first-time home buyers getting married for the first time, looking to get out of that apartment that they've been paying $2,000 a month for and go spend $2,500 and own something. So a lot of my clients, I would say 60% of them are probably 65% are probably buyers, and then 35% are probably sellers. A lot of sellers are same thing. A lot of them are from our sphere. If it's family, friends of friends that refer to us, that say that see us doing so well with our social media and everything, they're like, this kid's crushing it, give him a call, he'll take care of you, blah blah blah. But most of them are honestly buyers at this point, which is a lot of people say, oh, you got to you want listings. That's the way you're gonna keep going. And I can see it's definitely that definitely helps. You get the listing, you potentially pick up a couple buyers from your listing. So it snowballs. But we've been, knock on wood, to the day,
Talking with you. Go ahead.
very, very successful so far. And, I've been doing real estate for just under 3 years, about 2.5 years, and full time for two full years. And, we've been growing every single year. And most of it's, like I said, 60% buyers. But, we just keep growing, and we don't mind the buyers.
Disclosure to the audience, I just want to, we met online. I saw on my Instagram handle your ads, you were coming up in my feed, and I said, this guy is killing it, and he's marketing himself so well, and you have a podcast as well. And I think that anybody who has a pulse, but a good pulse of listing and selling belongs on Coffee Talk. And I'll get right into a really hard question. A lot of top producing agents, even listing agents, don't like to answer on this show, but I put them right on the spot. What is your secret sauce to listing real estate?
So, every single realtor that goes into a listing presentation, they all, majority, say the same thing. I'm going to put your house on MLS. You're going to be all over Zillow and Trulia. You're not doing anything special. What are you going to bring to us that's going to get us that extra $5,000-$10,000 from, and another 10 buyers to walk through our door to try to get a bidding war started? And what we've been doing lately is we ramp up. And, I hired a whole social media team that helps, do all our videos, all our posting. We have, they look at all the algorithms. They post 2 times a day at certain time points that hit a lot of the viewers. We, do different videos. Like I did a airplane promo where, we were chasing down a client, and we rented an airplane at Farmingdale Airport and made this video.
Really? Oh, yeah. Nice. Very nice.
So in the summertime, we made a promo video of, oh, you're looking to sell your home, but you live on Fire Island. I jumped on my jet ski, and we did drone video of going to go get it. So we're kind of engaging in, when we post those videos, we get 3, 4, 5, 6,000 views on these photos in 24 hours.
Well, a lot of people like to be entertained, but at the same time they're being entertained, you're creating a subliminal message.
Correct.
To use you to get there. Another one of our colleagues in the business does the same thing. I'm not going to mention him here, but he also has the viewership because he's very popular with his team.
Where I got it from. So I'm assuming you're. Can I mention his name? I hope that you mentioned the
whatever you want. It's your show and mine.
So I don't know if you're talking about Dan O'Neill.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I've been one of my guests here.
So I had him on my podcast as well, and I consider him like a mentor to me. He has a gigantic team. If I have a question or something, I give him a call, and he answers every single time.
Yeah, likewise. I've called upon him too. Believe it or not, a mentor can be a mentor, right? Yeah, somebody who you look up to, someone who's killing it in the business. Yourself, myself, he. The 3 of us have been very successful, but we have this ability to be out of the box thinkers,
right?
And that's what a lot of new agents don't see in our industry or they don't tap into this imagination that they should be, like a child. When you see a child putting together a simple thing like Legos and you see this unbelievable creation, right? Yeah. It's because the child is using their imagination. Absolutely. And a lot of people don't do that as they get older. They stop.
And I was never big into social media. I was never the big posting every day, doing videos, being in front of the camera. I felt a little awkward, but eventually I learned, all right, I can do this. If it looks ridiculous, that's okay. If people share it because it's ridiculous, or people share it because they like it, they're sharing it. Who cares?
Who cares?
So, after, talking with Dan and seeing all his stuff, I was like, this kid's onto something. People.
Well, when I saw him get on a horse, did you see that one when he got?
Yeah, I mean, the kid's absolutely ridiculous.
I was like, what are you doing? And then he did something with, he had a lifesaver and he had his suit on.
Yep.
And he's floating in the pool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're going to get that suit all ruined. I don't know.
Crazy,
Oh my God.
After seeing Dan do all these crazy things on Facebook and it's work, I was like, you know what? We have very similar personalities. I was like, I got to do something like this. I was like, I got to make these funny videos. People love it. And, I thank him all the time for doing what he does because it pushes you to be better and grow your own business. Seeing someone else successful, a lot of people take it the wrong way. but embrace it. I want to get there. Let's do things that are, don't copy them, but like do things that work. Obviously they work. So
what kind of marketing technology do you use besides the funniness, the craziness of what he does, you do, I do? Actually, I think this is going to be 2021 is going to be my year to do something silly, because the two of you have done it in the last couple of years. But what do you do to market your homes? Do you use any special technology?
So we do. I don't think we do any specific technology, but we do targeted ads through Facebook. With all their algorithms, well, a lot of agents, they don't even want to pay for listing photos. They want to take them with their iPhone. They don't want to spend, you don't even want to spend $300, which is baffling to me when I see some of these photos.
You like those pictures that they take with their cell phones and
Yeah,
and they take a picture of the toilet up?
It's crazy, and they don't even ask like the homeowner to get up. Like the homeowner's sitting at the table eating like a bowl of cereal, and like you don't even ask them to get out of the kitchen.
What about the pets in the picture?
Exactly.
That kills me the most. Is I'm not selling a pet, I'm selling a house. But
yeah, it's honestly absolutely crazy.
It drives me crazy, and the dark pictures and the crooked pictures. I just want to like strangle that person to say, hey, what are you doing for that homeowner? You're doing them an injustice.
I really just wonder how these sellers actually hire these people. That's the question.
See, if I was a seller today, right? If I was selling my house today, and I know you're going to agree with me 100%, but why aren't the sellers interviewing agents out there and specifically asking them, what type of background? Do you have any type of tech experience? Do you have professional people coming to my house to take pictures? Ask those questions, because you're relying on an agent to give you reasonable care. That's one of our fiduciary duties, reasonable care. And like, what are you doing? Are you not asking those? And then they scratch their heads and they go, what went wrong in my home? Why isn't my home selling?
It's crazy. It honestly makes absolutely zero sense. And I think a lot of it comes down to, one, the seller wants to go with somebody because they know them or they were referred to them by a family member, or they're just looking for the cheapest price and they don't understand, what are you going to save? You're going to do it for 3% to save 0.5% here or there. That 0.5% on your $500K house.
Seashells, just because this is a teaching tool, but can't talk about, and those are antitrust laws. We can't talk about that. But even if I charge 3 seashells or 3 lollipops for my fee, you should be able to give the best service no matter how many seashells you're receiving.
Yeah, 100%. And these people, they don't look at the big picture, I think, and they just see the small number and they're like, you're hired, and they don't ask them anything else.
It's terrible. It's terrible. The sellers should take extra precaution, especially with us listers, because we know what we're doing. We absolutely know what we're doing. We're not just silly. We're not being silly. We're trying to be innovative. That's correct. The word. And you, me, Dan, a handful of us that are innovative are also the experts that people should be listing with.
Yeah, the people that are smart, and actually understand the whole big picture, and they see, okay, yes, he's making a funny video, but that funny video is hitting 10,000 people. And if we get 5% of those people to show up at our front door, that could bring you in an extra $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Who knows what it leads to? That holds a lot of value.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're creating that subliminal message that says, you know what, work with me. I'm the one that is marketing this house, or I'm a guy that can sell you this house, and I can give you I can sell you the American dream, because that's what we're selling. We're selling a nice dream for people that people can't dream anymore of home ownership. We have to bring the dream to them.
Yeah, listen, people can't imagine things, just like when a house is unstaged. They can't visually see where the couch goes. They need to physically see it to be like, this is the house I love. I need this house. And it could be totally empty, and they walk in, they're like, nope, this is not the one for me.
So besides social media, do you use any other special technology to market?
So we honestly we're big on the social media now. We do social media. We'll do like direct marketing around the area. Like every time we have an open house coming up or a new listing, we email blast, do all that stuff to the area, but we also do a EDDM. We send a big, nice postcard. We used to, once in a while when we were allowed to, we used to door knock in the area, to the 200 surrounding houses, hand out a flyer, introduce ourselves. We have an open house, stop by.
Right.
So now we have to direct mail everything because we're not allowed to door knock these days. But, we try to hit as many people as possible. We put in the legwork that a lot of people just want to take the photo with their camera, put it up on the lawn, put it up on MLS and wait for people to show up. And anybody can do that. So we try to just, put in the work that people won't, and spend the money and time people won't.
The owner has his sign on the left-hand side of the fence, and the real estate agent has his sign on the right side of the fence. Those are the listings that kill me too. And I go, that's not marketing. That's failure.
Yeah,
failure to take control of your business.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tell me, what advice would you give a new agent coming into the business?
So, I know you cut me off on it as we were talking prior, but the biggest thing I feel now is don't look at what broker name you want to use. I think the whole broker model is, some people will shoot me for saying it, but I think it's broken. I think a lot of the brokerages do not, bring to the table what they really need to give new agents.
In full disclosure, some of them do.
Some of them do, of course. This is not for everybody.
You're right. Some of the models have been broken.
I think do
you know why they've been broken? Do you take a guess why? I'm just curious. You said broken, and I'm like, I want you to.
I just think that a lot of the brokerages are maybe stuck in an old school way, and they're not kind of changing with the times. I think every year something's changing. Obviously, COVID changed a lot of things, and I think that kind of opened up a lot of people's eyes to the whole virtual model and the cloud based and being able to work from home or from wherever you want to be. At the end of the day, I don't think the broker model will ever fail. I think no matter what, people like to walk into a physical building, or they need that physical workspace. They can't work from home, and that'll never die. But I think the 2,000 square foot office space is going to die, and it's going to be a 1,000-foot space with floating desks, a printer, a copier, and come and go as you please, and everything's going to be virtual training. And
what a great time to be a commercial real estate agent. Commercial real estate agents have told me that they're failing, or that they're doing this, they're doing that, and I'm saying to myself, what a great time to be a realtor in commercial, because you're repurposing, you're actually part of history, you're changing the scope, the landscape of commercial. Embrace it and be more successful at it. Don't look at it as Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Come on.
Yeah. But to your question, which
yes. We digress.
To your question, I would literally say, look for a team. Look for a team and interview teams and pick which one fits your needs the best. Which one do you feel that will help you get to making whatever you want to make? If it's $50,000 a year, if it's 100, if it's 200, if you want to sell 50 homes, 10 homes, or 100 homes, find a team that fits your needs. What do they offer you training wise? If it's lead wise, whatever you feel is necessary. I think the team is really what should choose where you go, and then look at the brokerage of what they offer. Team first, brokerage second.
Right. And what advice would you give to an old pro like myself, who's been in the business 20, 30 years plus? If you had to, just give them a little bit of advice. A lot of them don't like to take advice, but if you had to talk to somebody like myself, what advice would you give me?
I think a lot of, agents have been doing real estate for 30 years. And obviously if they've been doing it for 30 years, you obviously are doing something right. You can't stay in this business for 30 years and not be doing something right. That's just straightforward. And I think a lot of younger agents like myself learn a lot of stuff from, people like yourself who've been in the business for 30 years. Obviously there's tried and true methods that work. But I think younger generation,
learn a lot from you guys too.
Right. And I think what the younger generation brings is the new, I don't know if it's like the new school way of real estate, but the whole doing the social media, doing, the whole bus stop and putting your billboard up is dead. Everything's here now. Everybody wants to be on this. So, I was watching Charles Weinraub's thing the other day, and he said, all that stuff is dead. If you're not on, no matter what your business is, If you're not on social media, you are at a huge disadvantage. Doesn't matter if you're an
I
attorney.
don't think it's totally dead. This is
No,
my,
not totally, but from what it
I've
used to
heard
be.
him say the same thing. And I think that if we, like the old pros, yeah, putting your name on a bus, putting your name on a billboard, a train station, bench, wherever you want to put it, right? I think if you did a little of that and a little of this and a little of everything that you guys do in the new school and
Right.
the old school, and we put our methods together, if you
Absolutely.
put those methods, I think that's a really good winning combination.
I
But
do agree with that, because what do they say? Like the rule of like 7, I think, that you want people to see your name like 7 times. So okay,
yeah,
they see your name on a bus stop, then they see your post on Instagram, then all of a
right.
sudden, 3 hours later they see you on LinkedIn, then then a bus drives by and there, there's your face again. And I had a interview with somebody, I forgot who it was, Luke Acree from Reminder Media,
Oh, yeah.
and he gave us the stat. So what, I don't know if you know the stat number, but what do you think the number is that if I'm a seller looking to sell my home, the first realtor that pops into my head, what's the percentage they use that person?
Oh, I would think that the first one is the best, is the one that makes the most impressions.
74% of the time.
Wow, that's a staggering statistic.
That's a crazy number. So if you think about it, literally, if you are, if you keep your name in their head, you're gonna get 3 out of 4 of those listings for the most part.
Right, right.
That's a crazy number.
You have one chance to make a good first impression is my new mantra when I go on listing presentations. Back in the day, 30 years ago, we would go on a two-stop listing presentation. Imagine going and doing a listing presentation twice in a different way. First to establish a rapport, second to really get it signed. And you would bring a caravan of real estate agents with you to make an impression on the owner that you had this team, this office. Back then, it wasn't like really a team,
Right.
but more of an office of people. Hey, Mr. Seller, these are the people that are going to be selling your house, and that was to establish a rapport.
Right.
And then you would send them away, all right, or come back and say, okay, I'd like to show you now what I'll be doing for you.
Right.
And then you would follow up. And there wasn't as much resistance back then that there is now, because a lot of homeowners think they can do it on their own, which I respect that. I respect the fact that they don't want to pay us. But would you do that with a dentist? Would you actually say, hey, you know what? Examine my teeth, and if there's cavities, I'll take care of them myself.
Yeah, people, this because they just think of the money. They just see the dollar amount. They're like, I'm not giving away $20,000 or whatever the case may be. And they're like, but they don't understand. I don't know what the stat is, but I know the sellers end up netting like 6% higher with an actual realtor, even with the commission.
It's true. It's the best $20,000 you could spend, or 30,000, whatever the percentage is. It's the best money spent on selling your home and using a professional to do it.
And
I guarantee you, they wouldn't try to be a lawyer on themselves.
Absolutely.
Or a doctor themselves.
I think it's that's the realtor that had the interview or tried to sell them on the listing was poor at it. And
it froze a
for a
little bit.
You're good.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's just the poor realtor that's not trained well enough to show them the value of the realtor, and and then the realtors that aren't trained as well, they turn into discount brokers, and they're just trying to get the deals off the discount.
Well, that's where the next question comes into play, and that's education. And realtors are constantly educating themselves in professional areas of areas of professional development. It's not just needing 22 and a half hours every 2 years that's important. It's what am I doing today to better myself, better my career, better maybe the perception of the public needs to be changed, because the broker needs to create a better perception of their agents as well as the managers. And maybe if we all took that kind of approach, the public would stop trying to sell it on their own. So it leads me into the last question, and that is our fiduciary responsibilities to the public consists of obedience, loyalty, disclosure, accountability, confidentiality, reasonable care. which one, if you had to pick, and I know they're all important, but
Yeah,
which one would you, Josh Handler, pick if you had to pick one and why?
it's a tough one. Thinking about
I
it,
gave it to you. That's why.
yeah.
You can handle it, Josh. You can handle anything.
I'd probably go with loyalty. I was always big into, honoring your word, standing up for what you believe in, and, really telling your clients, you're acting, you're your backbone of your client, through this. And, if they can't trust you, that I feel like you're at, how you, one, you're never getting a referral down the line. Two,
Right.
You're doing that client such a disservice. I feel you have to be transparent. You got to be loyal to them, and you have to lay it on the table. And I think a lot of people in this business, they're scared to tell the truth sometimes. Or they want to beat around it, and then
Fluff.
yeah, they want to fluff it to because they just want to get a deal done. They want the sale, and they're not looking what's best interest for the client. For us, when I first started, it was the first 6 months it was about the money. Like I was worried. Okay, I just left a great job. Am I going to make it? I wanted the sale because I wanted money. The next 2 years, I didn't care about the money. I was like, I'm going to be successful. I cared about the client. I cared about finding them their dream home. I cared about the relationship that we were building. I like what they call, like, just like Carp does, stack the little wins. Every single time I negotiate with somebody, to come out on top with a win, that's what feels good. Like that's what makes me want to keep going.
Yeah.
The money will follow.
Did you win? Are you in the top 20
Yeah.
under 40?
Yeah, so I won it from 2020 last year.
Oh, last year.
Yeah, so 2020.
Oh, this is awesome. A lot of your fellow YPNers in the Long Island Board of Realtors
Right.
have won that award, have been on Coffee Talk, which is
awesome.
nice. You're all, in my book, winners, including myself, who received the Young at Heart Award 2 years ago. It was great. It was a great honor that was given to me by Beth Lowe and Chris Backus.
Yeah.
And you have a good president in Chris, and now John McSherry coming up. I mean, you've all been on the show, and it's been great.
That's awesome.
That that you're all. You know what I like about the YPNers, the Young Professionals Network for the Long Island Board of Realtors, is that there's a camaraderie there. And there's a camaraderie amongst the real estate community of the YPN.
Yeah.
And that's if I had to learn something as an old pro in real estate, is that the younger people not only are teaching me the value of what they know and how they do things, but how they work together and how they cooperate. There's full cooperation there, which is nice. Yeah. That's what we should be doing more of, is cooperation.
I agree. So I was never big into the whole like networking and everything like that. Because the people that mentored me in the beginning, they had full-time jobs. They were very successful in real estate, but they didn't go out of that, realm. And right. The first time I had Dan O'Neill on my podcast, and he's like, dude, you got to come to YPN. You got to do and after getting out there and starting the podcast and having people, talking to people that you would never talk to if you didn't have these podcasts, or going out and talking to these people, you just realize like everybody works together. Everyone's not against each other or fighting.
Mark Donnelly, who started, and Cal Kelly, and all these founders of YPN, Melissa Gomez. I could go on and on about all the people that, were the backbone of YPN in the early days. Kate Kaplinka Conquest. I mean, these were people, and they still continue to stay consistent with the message of involvement and leadership in not just what you're doing, but your communities and how you serve people. I mean, this is what the public, I think, looks for in an agent.
Yeah, I agree.
You do a lot of work with Ronald McDonald House at YPN as well.
Right.
And that's something that should be noted on this program as well. I don't think I've ever mentioned that. YPN's charity, one of the main charities, is Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah, and it's a great cause. I mean, to be able to give back, and I think that's what it's about sometimes. It's helping, we're very successful and you're helping all these people, but, being able to be successful enough to give back and help others. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Well, I want to thank you for being on my program here, my Coffee Talk. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said in the beginning, we met on social media.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got you here. I'm glad I got a 2020 YPN recipient of the top 20 under 40 here on this program for this year. And I look forward to seeing your growth and continued growth in the future as you're really a rising star in real estate. And it's great to see that you persevered and you kept going to meet the challenges that we go through on a daily basis.
No, I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to this year.
Let's do some deals together.
That's it. Let's do some deals together. I appreciate you having me on. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. This is Joe Sonona with Sonona Speaks Seminars, and this has been another exciting episode of Coffee Talk with the Listing Pros. And my guest this week was Josh Handler from Exit Realty Premier. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks for having me.